Steve is slowly trying to figure out which prospects are going to work for this team in the long run and which ones are not. And so the expectation for some of these younger guys on these bridge deals, these 1 to 2 year deals, and even some of these veteran guys, what can they do? And if it works out, great. That's fantastic. If it doesn't, Steve is ready for both sides of the coin in that regard, right? And so it can go one or two ways. It's make the playoffs or you don't. And you start trying to sell off a little bit. And that's when we start to see the players like the Nate Danielsons being full-time, maybe even the Kosas. You could trade Cam Talbot because that is someone who could play as a backup for a regular playoff team. But at the end of the day, fans are getting reckless. If we miss the playoffs again, Carlo, I really don't know if Steve will be the general manager of the Detroit Red Wings. We're going to start seeing a lot of these young guys. If Steve Yzerman was fired tomorrow, 5 years from now, are we going to be saying these are all the guys Steve drafted and look at us, we look like idiots?
That's a good question, dude. I mean, possibly, but that's back to my whole final thought. Like, these guys are still developing. They're 22, man. They're 23. Like, they're not even close to their prime yet. Like, they're still figuring out how to get to the prime. They're on their way to their prime. So it's so hard to answer that question because we just don't know. And I think that's the problem. Like, timing, like I said, is just not on our side right now. Like, we are losing patience as a fan base and going stir crazy, which I get it. It's warranted to a degree, but you really need to seek to understand why we're in this position. You can't expect a Moritz Seider and a Lucas Raymond to be the two guys. Yeah, are they cornerstones of this franchise? Absolutely. But they're not elite generational talent. They're not. So they're not going to be the answer. It's going to take a whole slew of draft picks to come into this team, develop, and be able to hang to really propel us into where we want to be. Does Steve Yzerman get fired after this season if we don't make the playoffs? I don't think he does. No, I don't think he does. Whether that means he should or shouldn't, I'm not going to get into that, but I don't think he will. And if he should even be thought of to be fired, I would say based off what I just said and giving these players times to, spread their wings and fly, so to speak, I think they're giving him 10 years. And if he doesn't make the playoffs year 10, I can comfortably be okay with him being dismissed. But I think they are going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to be I think this team takes a massive leap after next season. The UFA crop of next year, I think, is when this team takes a massive jump. And I'm talking about a jump of being a flirting with wildcard 2 spot to being in the playoffs and not a wildcard team, by the way. Solidifying themselves in that mix of a lock team that's not flirting with wildcard. We are a lock. I think that leap's going to happen 26-27. Heard it here first, folks.